This video is for educational purposes only and does not constitute professional medical advice. Please consult with your doctor or a qualified healthcare specialist before starting any new vitamins or supplements mentioned in this video. Use of this information is at your own risk. Look closely at your hands and your legs today. If you notice the skin hanging a bit looser, if your grip feels slightly less certain, or if a simple flight of stairs feels like a mountain you can no longer climb, you need to listen very carefully. This is not just the natural process of getting older. What you are witnessing is a quiet, violent internal catastrophe. For many people over the age of 60, the body enters a state of biological desperation. Your digestive system, the very engine meant to fuel your life, begins to fail. But it doesn't just stop working, it turns on you. When your gut can no longer break down the nutrients you eat, your brain sends out a survival command to harvest energy from the only source left, your own muscle tissue. Your body is literally cannibalizing its own strength, dissolving your calves, your arms, and eventually the muscles that support your heart, just to keep your vital organs functioning for one more day. It is a slow-motion tragedy that ends in a total loss of independence, leaving you a prisoner in a body that can no longer support its own weight. Welcome to EldraFit Nutrition. It's a pleasure to have you with us today. We are dedicated to uncovering the hidden truths about health that most people overlook until it is far too late. If you want to protect your strength and ensure you never become a burden to those you love, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel. Your support allows us to continue creating these deep dive guides into senior health and longevity. Together, we can stop the cycle of decline and reclaim the vitality you deserve. The tragedy of sarcopenia, the medical term for this muscle wasting, is that it is often fueled by a broken gut. After 60, your stomach acid levels drop, your intestinal lining thins, and the enzymes that once worked like a well-oiled machine begin to rust. You might be eating the most expensive protein and the finest vegetables, but if your gut cannot unlock those nutrients, they simply rot in your system, causing inflammation that further accelerates muscle loss. You are starving in the midst of plenty. This internal starvation triggers a hormonal cascade that tells your body to melt your muscles for fuel. This is why you see seniors who seem to shrink almost overnight. They aren't just getting older, they are being consumed from the inside out because their senior nutrition has failed at the most basic level of absorption. Before we move into the specific habits that are causing this disaster, I want you to pause and reflect on your own journey. This is a moment of honesty between you and your future self. Please answer the following question in the comments section below. When you look in the mirror, which of these two thoughts scares you more? A. Losing the strength to walk and play with my grandchildren independently. B. Having to rely on others for my most basic daily needs like eating or bathing. Type A or B in the comments right now. Your answer matters because it defines the urgency with which you must treat the information I am about to share. Understanding your deepest fear is the first step toward preventing it. Now that we understand the stakes, we must look at the 3 specific mistakes that are acting like gasoline on the fire of muscle wasting. These are habits many seniors perform daily, thinking they are helping their bodies, when in reality, they are dismantling their digestive defenses. The first, and perhaps most common mistake, is the chronic use of acid reducers or antacids. As we age, it is common to feel heartburn or indigestion, and the instinctive reaction is to reach for a pill to neutralize the acid. But here is the deep irony. After 60, most people actually suffer from too little stomach acid, not too much. When you further suppress that acid, you are effectively turning off the only mechanism your body has to break down protein. Protein is the building block of your muscles. Without enough hydrochloric acid, those protein molecules remain too large to be absorbed. They sit in your gut, fermenting and feeding bad bacteria, while your muscles wait in vain for the fuel they need to repair themselves. By trying to stop the burn in your chest, you are inadvertently starving your biceps and your heart. This is a primary failure in senior nutrition that goes ignored in almost every standard medical checkup. The second destructive habit is the consumption of excessive raw, coarse fiber in an attempt to stay regular. While fiber is essential, the digestive tract of a 60-year-old is not the same as that of a 20-year-old. The intestinal lining becomes more sensitive and less efficient at processing tough, insoluble fibers found in raw vegetables or heavy bran. Instead of helping, this sandpaper effect can cause microinflammation in the gut wall. This inflammation triggers the body's immune system to stay on high alert, creating a pro-inflammatory environment that is the enemy of muscle growth. When your gut is inflamed, it cannot prioritize building muscle. It is too busy trying to survive the irritation. Many seniors find that by switching to cooked, easily digestible vegetables, their bloating vanishes and their energy levels and muscle tone begin to return. The third mistake involves the hidden danger of supplemental iron without medical supervision. Many seniors feel tired and assume they are anemic, reaching for an iron-rich multivitamin. However, for most men and postmenopausal women, supplemental iron is not only unnecessary, but actively harmful. Excess iron that isn't used by the blood doesn't just leave the body. It accumulates in the liver and the lining of the digestive tract. Here, it acts as a catalyst for oxidative stress, literally rusting your cells from the inside. This oxidative damage destroys the delicate villi in your small intestine, the tiny finger-like projections responsible for absorbing all your nutrients. When these villi are damaged by iron toxicity, your senior nutrition becomes a ghost of what it should be. You could be eating perfectly, but the doors to your bloodstream are effectively welded shut. Each of these habits creates a barrier between the food you eat and the muscles you need. To stop the cannibalism of your own body, you must first stop the internal sabotage. These mistakes are quiet, they are common, and they are the foundation of the frailty that so many fear. Understanding these deep biological truths is the only way to ensure your senior nutrition actually supports a life of strength and dignity. To stop the violent cannibalization of your own muscles, we must provide your body with the master keys to its own locked treasury of nutrients. It is not enough to simply eat. You must restore the biological bridge between your plate and your bicep. The first of these keys is the strategic use of natural digestive enzymes. Think of these as the precision tools that your body no longer produces in abundance after age 60. Without them, that piece of salmon or that bowl of lentils is nothing more than a heavy burden for your intestines. By introducing plant-based enzymes like protease, lipase, and amylase, you are effectively hiring a construction crew to break down the complex architecture of your food into microscopic building blocks that can finally cross into your bloodstream. This is the moment your muscles have been waiting for. The arrival of the actual materials needed to stop the wasting and begin the repair. When you supplement these enzymes, you often feel an immediate shift. The heavy, dragging fatigue of post-meal fog begins to lift, replaced by a clean sense of fuel actually reaching your engine. The second key is the restoration of your internal ecosystem through multi-strain probiotics. After decades of life, your gut microbiome is likely a battlefield where the good soldiers have been outnumbered by opportunistic invaders that thrive on inflammation. To rebuild your strength, you must reseed this garden with diverse, high-potency strains like Lactobacillus and Bifidobacterium. These are not just bacteria. They are the primary architects of your intestinal wall. They heal the microscopic leaks that allow toxins to poison your blood, and they produce the essential short-chain fatty acids that signal your body it is safe to stop burning muscle for energy. A healthy gut tells your brain that the famine is over, allowing your metabolic switch to flip from destruction to preservation. Finally, the third key is the prioritization of high bioavailability, easily digestible proteins. At this stage of life, your body can no longer handle the stress of processing tough, charred, or heavily processed meats. You must pivot toward gentle power, proteins that are pre-broken down or naturally soft, such as wild-caught fish, organic eggs, or sprouted plant proteins. When these are consumed alongside your enzymes and probiotics, they act like liquid gold for your shrinking fibers. You are no longer asking your gut to do the impossible. You are giving it the exact blueprint and the perfect materials to rebuild the fortress of your body. This is the sacred trio of restoration that transforms your digestion from a site of decay into a fountain of renewed strength. moving from knowledge to transformation requires a disciplined, sacred journey over the next 30 days. This is not a casual suggestion. It is a rescue mission for your independence. The first phase of this roadmap is the radical elimination of internal irritants. For the next week, you must clear your cabinet of the hidden toxins, the processed sugars, the artificial sweeteners, and the shelf-stable oils that act like acid on your intestinal lining. You are clearing the rubble so that the new foundation can be laid. This is often the hardest part, as your body may resist the change, but you must remember the alternative, the slow, steady loss of your ability to move and live on your own terms. As you enter the second week, you begin the ritual of awakening your system. Every morning starts with a glass of warm water and a small serving of naturally fermented foods like kefir or sauerkraut. This is a gentle wake-up call to your stomach acid and your bile production. It prepares the engine for the day's work without the shock of cold liquids or heavy stimulants. You will then move into a strategy of metabolic pacing, breaking your nourishment into 4 or 5 smaller, nutrient-dense meals. By doing this, you never overwhelm your aging digestive tract. You provide a steady, manageable stream of amino acids to your muscles throughout the day, ensuring that the starvation signal, which triggers muscle wasting, is never allowed to turn on. In the final 2 weeks, your focus shifts to the deep observation of your own biology. You must track your physical sensations with the precision of a scientist. Look for the return of morning energy, the disappearance of bloating, and the renewed firmness in your grip. These are the signs that your senior nutrition has finally been unlocked. This 30-day roadmap is the bridge between the version of you that feels fragile and the version of you that stands tall and unshakable. By the end of this month, you won't just be eating differently. You will be living in a body that has stopped consuming itself and has begun, for the first time in years, to truly thrive. This is your commitment to your future self, and it starts with the very next meal you choose to eat. The journey to reclaiming your strength after 60 is far more than a simple clinical protocol. It is a sacred commitment to your own dignity and future. Your body has carried you through 6 decades of labor, laughter, and life, and it is now asking for a different, more profound kind of respect. It is no longer enough to be a passive passenger in your own biology, watching the years leave their mark without intervention. You must become the vigilant architect of your internal environment. Every choice you make at the dinner table, every supplement you decide to keep or discard, and every habit you refine is a direct vote for the person you will be 5, 10, or 20 years from now. Will you be the elder who stands tall, with muscles capable of lifting a grandchild and a mind clear enough to recount a lifetime of wisdom? Or will you allow the silent, preventable erosion of sarcopenia to diminish your world until it is no larger than the 4 walls of a sick room? This is your moment of truth. The cannibalism of your muscles stops the minute you decide to honor your digestive fire and prioritize absorption over mere consumption. By committing to this path, you are not just fixing a gut, you are safeguarding your freedom. True health at this stage of life is the ultimate form of rebellion against the common narrative of inevitable decline. It is a bold statement that your story is far from over and that your physical vessel is still capable of greatness. As you move forward, let your intuition be guided by the science of nutrient bioavailability. Listen to the quiet signals of your body, the return of a steady, confident gait, the disappearance of that heavy afternoon slump, and the renewed vigor in your daily movements. These are the sacred rewards of a life lived in harmony with your changing needs. Your commitment to this transformation is a promise that your golden years will be defined by power, presence, and an unshakable sense of independence. As we reach the conclusion of this deep exploration into the hidden mechanics of your vitality, I want you to carry away a truth that transcends vitamins, enzymes, or dietary plans. The most profound lesson we can draw from the science of senior health is that our bodies are not static machines destined to break down. They are dynamic, conversational systems that simply change their language as the years pass. The primary mistake most of us make is trying to talk to our 60-year-old selves in the dialect of our 30s. We ignore the subtle shifts in our digestion and the quiet thinning of our muscles because we have been conditioned to accept frailty as a requirement of age. But the deeper, more empowering truth is that your health is a continuous dialogue. And for the first time in a long while, you now have the vocabulary to speak back. The lesson is this: informed stewardship is the only true antidote to the fear of aging. You cannot control the chronological passage of time, but you have immense power over the efficiency of your biological engine. When you understand that your gut is the gatekeeper of your strength, your entire perspective on nutrition shifts. You no longer eat merely for taste or convenience. You nourish yourself for the sake of your autonomy. This awareness is your greatest shield. To apply this to your life today, do not wait for a crisis to force your hand. Start with the very next thing you put in your mouth. Before you eat, pause and ask yourself, is this meal providing the building blocks my muscles need, or is it a burden my system can no longer carry? Practice the art of mindful observation. If you feel a wave of exhaustion after eating, recognize it as a biological signal that your digestion needs support, not as a sign that you are simply getting old. Begin the habit of supporting your stomach acid naturally, simplifying your protein sources, and respecting the limits of your intestinal lining. This is not a temporary diet. It is a new operating system for your later years. By making these small, consistent adjustments, you are not just extending the length of your life, you are expanding the depth and quality of every hour you have. You are choosing to be an active participant in your aging process, ensuring that while the years may accumulate, the weakness does not have to. You are reclaiming the right to be strong, steady, and vibrant for all the days yet to come. Based on what we have discussed today, what is one small change you plan to make to your daily routine or diet this week to better support your digestion and muscle strength? Please share your thoughts in the comments below so we can all learn from each other's perspectives and experiences. Your insight might be exactly what someone else needs to hear to start their own journey. If you found this information helpful, please subscribe to the channel to support our mission of bringing evidence-based health guidance to seniors everywhere. Your support helps us continue creating content that empowers you to live your strongest life.